Hi, my name is Jai Prashant Mohan Ram and you are watching Car Talk. This, ladies and gentlemen, was Maruti Suzuki's latest offering, the first big launch of the year. This is the Victoris, an all-new mid-size SUV that will be sold from the Arena range of dealerships. This car will rival the likes of the Kia Seltos, the Hyundai Creta, but does the Victoris have enough to unseat the segment-leading Hyundai Creta? Come, let's find out. Let's talk about the design of the Victoris. The design is what has gotten people talking, and that is because this is possibly the most European-looking Maruti car ever. Take out that Suzuki badge, slip a Volkswagen badge there, and you can easily pass this off as a Volkswagen. That is how European the Victoris looks. Now, let's come closer and talk about key design elements. Let's begin with the headlamps. You get these nice sharp-looking headlamps with projectors inside. You get this nice DRL strip here. Then you have a matte aluminum strip that runs across the bonnet, and then you have this massive sculpted bumper which also houses the LED fog lamps. So this is basically the front end for you. This is a 4-skid plate. So overall it looks nice and butch, and on top you've got a bonnet that is again sculpted, but it's plain enough to look very SUV like. And as you move towards the profile, we'll start off with the wheel arches. This is a very SUV-ish design element. 17-inch alloy wheels, diamond cut, and you also have wing mirrors that house these 360 cameras. And as you go towards the profile of the car and you look at the roof has got a nice swoop at the bottom, and you also have these 4 roof rails, and there is a shark fin antenna. Even from the profile, the car looks very European, looks very pleasing, and some people may even liken it to some of the Range Rovers that are sold. But at the rear is where the design can get a little polarizing. As you come towards the rear, what you notice is there is this truncation, there's this wedge-like design at the rear which is a little abrupt. It gives the Victoris a very distinct look from the rear. Some people will like it, some people may not like it. And then you have this massive tail lamp that runs across. It's a connected tail lamp. You have indicators here. The roof has a shark fin antenna, and you also have a massive panoramic sunroof. And at the bottom you have reverse parking lights which is integrated into the bumper. All in all, the Victoris looks very European, and I think has enough to really make the Creta break a sweat. So I'm sitting inside the Maruti Suzuki Victoris, all new flagship car in the Arena lineup. So what really strikes you first is the steering wheel. It's a very typical Maruti round steering wheel, but feels nice to hold and touch. It's a tilt and telescopic steering wheel. Okay, that's a good thing about the steering wheel. And then what you'll notice is it also has paddle shifters. Since this is an automatic car we're dealing with, it's got paddle shifters. And at the front of the steering wheel, what you'll notice is on the left side, you are going to have these telephone functions, volume and voice commands, etc. On the right side, you have ADAS function, because remember, this is a car that is the first Maruti car to have ADAS, and you have ADAS functions here. Adaptive cruise, and you have emergency braking, and you have lane keep assist, all of this here. The steering wheel itself has a nice satin finish in between. All the buttons, etc., are laid out quite well and quite ergonomically. This is typical Japanese efficiency that's playing out in the Victoris. And now let's talk about the screens. The car has multiple screens. This is a 10.25-inch TFT. A lot of information, completely customizable. Plenty of information, you can customize it. All of the controls are here to customize. You can customize that screen there. And you have one more screen, which is a 10-inch infotainment unit. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless, and you've got a bunch of things happening here. You also have a music system that is one of the cool features of this car. It has an Infinity by Harman 8 speakers set up, a really fruity sounding music system. And before I forget, let me show you the HUD of this car. There is a nice HUD which is placed here, and that lets you gives you important information like speed, fuel efficiency, etc., without you having to take your eyes off and look at the TFT. So that is a nice touch. And now let's talk about the dashboard of this car. This dashboard, it's got multiple layers. There's a layer on top, more or less flat. It's, I think, finished in a dull black. And then you have a nice gray layer, which is the bottom, and this is soft touch. Even this is soft touch. All in all, it feels quite nice to touch and feel. And there's this nice diamond pattern here. The diamond pattern also has there is a 64 color ambient light that strip there. So this is basically the dashboard for you. Overall, it feels like a premium car. It feels very un-Maruti like, feels more European because it's the theme. The European theme also comes to the interiors. Feels quite European. All the controls, touch and feel is of very high order. Now let's talk about the doors of the Victoris. Again, materials used a soft touch and they feel nice. There is this diamond pattern that comes under the doors as well, the gloss diamond pattern, and you also have the ice grey finish, soft touch leather ice grey finish on your armrests. And now then about the seats are finished in beige color. This is some kind of a beige, and it's got a bit of fabric and a bit of leather. These are ventilated seats. Ventilation is really powerful and actually cools your bottom quite well. And there's ventilation both at the bottom as well as on your backrest. That is about the seats. And then you have an armrest. The armrest is an adjustable type, and there's a little bit of storage here. Some storage here, and there's this armrest. But the armrest, once you pull it out, it feels a little flimsy. So that could have been a little better. And now let's talk about the center console. Plenty of storage bits on the center console. Couple of cup holders here, and you have this seat ventilation buttons, and you have an electric parking brake. You have hill hold, and this is your gear shifter, which we are talking about a automatic car here. So this is a gear shifter for that, and you've got USB Type C there, and you've got some storage. Again, that pattern that we were talking about, the diamond pattern, comes here as well. And then you have a wireless charging bay. So this is where your wireless charging happens, and these are your AC controls. Again, nice ductility in the buttons here, so that is something nice. And as you move on top, you have a mirror that has auto dimming function, and you've got this nice sunglass holder. And surprisingly, there are vanity mirrors for both the driver and front passenger. This is a feature that is generally not available on most cars, but the Victoris has mirrors for both. And then moving on, you have this massive dual pane sunroof, which is, I think, the largest in class. It's a huge sunroof, and it really opens out quite wide, so you can actually park your car and take in the scenery. So the sunroof is actually the dual pane massive sunroof, panoramic sunroof is, I think, another big highlight in the Victoris. I'm sitting at the rear of the Victoris. The Victoris is the flagship arena product, and it is actually larger than the Grand Vitara, slightly larger, and even on the inside it really shows. You have comfortable seats. The theme continues. The doors, the same theme continues to the rear as well. The beige seats also continue, but you don't have ventilation at the rear seat. But what you do have is you have a nice armrest in between with cup holders. What I also like is the fact that you have 3 headrests. All passengers at the rear, all 3 passengers get adjustable headrests, and the person sitting in the middle also gets a 3-point seat belt. So these are nice bits. In terms of space, I am 5'7", about 70 kilos. Plenty of knee room, nothing to complain here. It's a reasonably wide car. 3 people like me, not very well big built, can all sit in comfort, but there is an issue for people who are sitting in the middle. There is this transmission tunnel that's quite tall, and because it's so tall, it is going to intrude upon room for the person sitting in the middle. So it's a great car for 4 people. For 5th people, it's going to be a squeeze because of that transmission tunnel. And I also wanted to point out that you have a blower for the rear passengers, and you also have USB Type-C charging and a little bit of storage for your knickknacks. So this is basically the rear seat of the Grand Vitara. And before I forget, I want to show you a nifty feature. It's here. As you can see, the glass is green. This is a factory fitted tinted glass. Okay, it's there to keep people even at the back cool. And there's one thing, there are 2 things that I didn't really enjoy about the Grand Vitara, especially taller people sitting in this car are going to face this. The under-thigh support is barely enough for somebody like me. For people taller than me, they are going to have under-thigh support because they're going to be sitting like this. So under-thigh support on longer journeys can be a hassle. And the headroom, because it has a massive panoramic sunroof, they've had to lower the roof, and because of this, the headroom is quite limited. For somebody like me, it's fine, but a 6-footer sitting here is going to actually rub his head against the roof liner. So that is not a cool bit. So you'll have to remember this. If you're a big build person sitting in this car, headrooms can be very tight. This is the party piece of the Victoris. The Victoris has electric tailgate release. This is possibly, this is the first car in the segment to have this, so that's a cool feature. And look at the boot, it's got a very capacious boot. The seats have a 60-40 split, so you can actually increase this boot. A lot of flexibility there. 3 suitcases and still plenty of space, and under this there is space as well. I'll just show you, there's some space under this as well. If you lift this, just look at the amount of space. There's no spare tire here, that's a down knob, but look at the amount of space. Since there's no spare tire, you know, the boot capacity is really increased, and this is basically how large the boot of the Victoris is. Even on the CNG trims, the CNG tank sits under the car, so the boot capacity is as large as this. So that's something which is going to be a great boon for people who travel quite a bit. They can squeeze in plenty of luggage into the Victoris. So this is basically the Victoris's boot for you. So I'm driving the Maruti Suzuki Victoris Smart Hybrid. This car has the 1.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, which is found on a lot of Maruti cars. I think it's the K15C motor. Makes about 102 horsepower and 139 Newton meters of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic torque converter gearbox. As soon as I got into this car, it's a very quiet engine, refined engine. As soon as I got into this car and started driving, what really struck me was the ride quality. This car's got brilliant ride quality, a very mature German-like ride quality. We've been talking a lot of German about this car. That's because it looks like a German. It also drives like a German in terms of how mature the suspension of this car is. Just look at this. I mean, the potholes I'm driving, I'll just take it through a few potholes and undulations. There's literally nothing you can feel. So this is a car that's tuned for comfort. You can drive across India, across all kinds of roads, plenty of ground clearance, and a great suspension setup. So you'll never feel that, you know, you'll never feel uncomfortable or tired in this car. So you can drive fatigue free. So the standout thing about this car, apart from the styling, for me would be the ride quality, especially in terms of driving. The ride quality is absolutely fantastic. The engine is a very relaxed engine. For instance, I'll show you right now. I'm in basically automatic mode, drive mode, so I'm at about 80 kilometers per hour. Let me accelerate to 100 and show you something interesting. So it takes its time to get to 100. It's not very eager. It does it, but it's not very happy going fast, basically. That's what the engine's nature is. Now let me shift to manual mode, 6th gear. Okay, it's about 1900 RPM. So about 1900 RPM, you can do 100 kilometers per hour in this car. That means the 5th gear and 6th gear are super overdrives in this car. Not just the 5th, even the 6th. Both the 5th and the 6th, they're overdrive gears in this car. And what happens is, since you're cruising at such low RPMs, your mileage is going to be fantastic. So on the highway, you're going to really have great mileage in this particular car. And if you really want to get a move on, you'll have to downshift. Because see, in 5th gear, even if I mash the throttle, there's literally no movement. The car is just not going anywhere. So if I want some movement, I have to come down the gears, maybe to say 3rd gear to really, you know, get some momentum and move the car. Otherwise, I just have to put it in drive. Once I put it in drive, then automatically it'll shift for me, it'll do the shifting for me, and it'll make me go faster. So the point here is, I'm trying to make is, this is a car that's tuned for mileage. The engine is tuned for mileage. If you want to just accelerate in a hurry, you just have more noise than momentum in this engine. But it's not a bad kind of a noise. It's quite refined. It does get audible, but it's a very refined engine even then. So that is something good actually. In terms of NVH levels, they've actually managed to do a good job, and there's literally no vibrations, no harshness, right? That's one thing. And now let's talk about handling and steering balance. In terms of steering, the car is reasonably quick to steer. At low speeds, it's very light. At higher speeds, there's fair amount of feedback, and you know, it can change lanes quickly. But remember, this is a suspension that's tuned for plushness and comfort. So there is more than a hint of body roll in this car, but that is fair because you want this car to, you know, cruise. This is not a sporty kind of a car where you want to go fast and corner hard. This is a car that you want to cruise gently, relaxed, and enjoy the ride quality. So that is the kind of car this is. Coming to ADAS features, it's got a bunch of ADAS features. It's got adaptive cruise control, it's got emergency braking, it's got lane keep assist, so on and so forth. Lane keep assist is quite aggressive. Straight to a different lane, see, it steers me back to the same lane. So it's quite aggressive in intervention. It intervenes aggressively. This is the first Maruti car to have ADAS. That's something cool about this car. So this is the Maruti Victoris for you. It's a great family car for people who want a relaxed car for everyday driving. The automatic gearbox and the Victoris is a match made in heaven. There is also a capable option in the all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive, 360 camera plus your automatic gearbox makes it quite a capable cross-country tourer. So that is an option that's available for people who want the capability of all-wheel drive. For the rest of the people, I think front-wheel drive will be more than sufficient. So it's a very competent car both for the city and the highway. In terms of handling, easy, soft handler. It's a great family SUV. That is what this car is, especially in the 1.5 litre smart or mild hybrid trim. It's a great family SUV. So that's basically my thoughts about driving the Victoris. Don't buy it to go really fast, but buy it for exceptional comfort. I think it's one of the most comfortable SUVs you can buy in the mid-size segment today. There'll be some people who want even better mileage than what a mild hybrid powertrain can offer on the Victoris. For them, there is the strong hybrid option. It's got a 1.5 litre triple cylinder engine and a CVT automatic gearbox and a strong hybrid, which has got a reasonably sized battery, and you can actually drive it in electric mode, etc. So that car delivers about 28.65 kilometers per litre, which is even more than what the Grand Vitara strong hybrid offers. That's obviously a high-rated number, but even, you can, I think, get about 24, 25 kilometers on the highway, which I think is fantastic. So if you want a petrol car that is so fuel efficient, you should go for the Victoris strong hybrid. But this is what we're talking about, or what we're driving is the Victoris mild hybrid with a 6-speed automatic gearbox. So we've just finished driving the Maruti Suzuki Victoris. This car is the one with the 1.5 litre mild hybrid petrol engine and a 6-speed automatic gearbox. So if I were to sum up this car in one word, comfort. I think that is what really stands out in this car, because the ride quality is like a German car ride quality, and it just doesn't look like a German but also drives like a German, and this is a huge compliment to pay. Apart from that, you get fantastic space, a wide set of features, plenty of features, including all-wheel drive in certain variants, including a strong hybrid in certain variants, although not this variant. So you get that. You also get great mileage, because at 100 kilometers per hour, this car is spinning at a leisurely 1800 RPM. So that's a diesel-like RPM. So it'll offer great mileage as well. What you don't get in this car, of course, is one thing, that is peak performance. This is not a quick car. If you want a quick car, look elsewhere. Maybe buy a Hyundai Creta. But what you won't get in a Hyundai Creta is a 5-star rating, both in Bharat NCAP and Global NCAP. That's one thing. And we started out this video by saying, is it an alternate? Can it actually challenge the Hyundai Creta? I think it can absolutely challenge, except one thing. In terms of peak performance, the Creta still scores, but this has all-wheel drive, so it can off-road better. All in all, this is a fantastic offering for the price Maruti is asking for it. So this is basically my review about the Maruti Suzuki Victoris 1.5 mild hybrid or smart hybrid. So if you like this kind of content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to Car Talk, and thank you very much for watching.